The Oklahoma Sooners are on the verge of getting another dynamic playmaker back for the offensive side of the ball.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome to Locked On Sooners, and thank you for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. I'm John Williams of Sooners Wire and USA Today Sport. He's Jay Smith of Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel and subscribe for more Oklahoma and college football content. Jay, we're going to talk about Temple. What are they doing, man? Like, do you really want to disturb the Hornets' nest? They might be. A little bit of Mike Gate happening as well in Sooner Nation, causing a bit of a stir because of a hot mic. But let's start with some injury news. Brent Venables was asked on the SEC media call about Giovanni Gibson. He's been in uniform each of the last 2 weeks, going through warmups in pregame, and Brent Venables provided an update for the dynamic playmaker.
Yeah, BV, it was asked at the Sooner Scoop. It was George Stoya asked on the teleconference about Giovanni Gibson. As we all know, the big wide receiver, number 11. He, like you said, John, he's literally been walking around full pads, going through warm-ups and stuff. And so we're all kind of like, we getting another big wide receiver? Because he's very much physically imposing when you see him out there, John. And every time I looked, I'm just like, that dude is huge. And every video you see, he's huge. And so Stoya asked him on teleconference, and BV responded that he's been great. He's been right on schedule. He's got an excitement to him. Obviously, he's anxious to get back out there. He's catching a lot of balls every day, and he's going through the appropriate rehab protocols. He's been making tremendous progress. Looking forward to see him back out there very soon. So if he's saying very soon, John, let's do the mathematics behind it. This weekend, we travel to Philadelphia to play against Temple. We come back. We have Auburn. We get a bye week, and then we get Kent State the first weekend of October. When do you think he's going to come back?
Kent State, that first weekend of October. He says very soon, and I don't buy it.
Really?
Because I just am not one to buy into any injury timelines from the coaching staff until they have to release an injury update, which we'll actually get an official one next week when they get ready to play Auburn, because the SEC requires teams to have an actual injury report.
Yeah.
If he's listed as probable on that injury report, okay, maybe I'll buy that he might be available for Auburn. But if he's questionable or worse, then I don't think we see him until Kent State.
Really? So I'm kind of in the same wave. If you don't play him in any snaps here against Temple, what reason would you want to start him ramped up against a team like Auburn? You probably want to ramp him up for SEC play by giving him kind of a warm-up, bye week, workouts, quote-unquote cupcake in a Kent State. Then you go up against, because, Kent State's been terrible this season, I'm just going to be honest, but then you go up against Texas. He'd be great to have back in the Texas game. Not going to lie. That would probably be the game that, if I could choose the one I would prefer to have him in, I'd probably prefer having him in the Texas game. And so, yeah, I'm kind of in that boat now of sign me up for Texas. Go ahead and get us Kent State, let him warm up, get him going, and play him in the Texas game. Now, it depends on how the Auburn games go. If the Auburn game is kind of a lot more of a, blowout than anticipated, then sure, you would probably go ahead and play him in the second half of that game. But, truth be told, I would expect probably Kent State as well. It feels like the very soon, that's the safest bet, because he's still got to get in shape, right? Still got to get in game shape. Let's put it that way.
Well, and I think also you give him the week of practice leading up to Auburn. And even if he doesn't play, if he has a full week of practice, goes through warmups, all that, but doesn't play, then you're still getting him closer to what you need him to be for the second half of the season. And then you get a full bye week. He gets to practice all that week and then practice all for, and then go through like the full game prep for Kent State. It just makes a lot of sense. And with the way your wide receivers are playing right now, you don't necessarily need to rush him back. At the same time, now, if they think, hey, he's ready to go now, then by all means, play him this week, get him ramped up, give him 10 to 20 snaps this week against Temple, make sure that everything's good to go, and then play him next week against Auburn. If very close to this coaching staff means he's probable for this Saturday, then by all means, play him, start getting him ready to roll, get him up to speed and ready for the Auburn game. Because I don't know what we're going to get out of Auburn. I don't necessarily think that they're going to be running this Vanderbilt style offense against Oklahoma, because it's not going to work. Jackson Arnold running the ball 15 times might get him put on the sideline with as physical as Oklahoma plays defense.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a very good strategy to do against this Oklahoma team, especially the way this Oklahoma team has been playing. I wouldn't want to have someone running the ball the way that he is. It's a very physical team, and truth be told, they know this kid. They know Jackson Arnold. They know him from practices. They've seen him play. And the one thing about the practices that a lot of the players on this roster knew Jackson Arnold from is they weren't allowed to hit him. This is a completely different animal.
Yeah.
He is able to hit somebody now.
Right. And all that to say that this could be a little bit more of a shootout. They might require Jackson Arnold to throw the ball a little bit more, which means you might have to throw the ball a little bit more and open things up. If he's comfortable and collected and confident in the pocket and able to make some plays down the field, you might have to throw the ball a little bit more. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I'd like to see what Jackson Arnold looks like when he has to go up against an elite defense. Baylor doesn't have an elite defense. They've got a very meh defense. Dave Aranda is probably the person that's benefited the most from that 2019 Joe Burrow season, because that defense didn't have to do anything. And because they went and won a national championship, everybody was like, oh, Dave Aranda is this great defensive coordinator, defensive mind. He should be a head coach. And he's just been kind of average for Baylor since he's gotten to Waco. So I don't necessarily trust anything that we've seen out of the Auburn offense, because they haven't played anybody. They haven't played anybody of substance. Well, they will here in a couple weeks. But for Giovanni Gibson, again, if very soon means this week he's ready to play, then play him. You're not going to have to play him a full complement of snaps, but that helps you get him up to speed a little bit quicker.
No, I get you on that. It kind of feels like a combination of that and the trying to figure out how I can say it. Well, as you say, the Aranda piece, I feel like Joe was it Brady is probably also the other person that's benefited very well from that, because I haven't seen or heard anything good overall from him in that. But we won't be talking too much about LSU people, because we got a game coming up. We've got a team that we got to prepare our minds for. But I do like hearing that there's a possibility we'll be able to get this big wide receiver back. The excitement around him is huge, and we just hope that the production comes with it. But man, and spring, he's literally all we heard about.
Yep.
Like, he was that dude. And we're seeing really good stuff from Keontae Lewis right now. We're seeing good stuff from Deion Burks. He looks like he's even more natural. Isaiah Satania, he makes up for his mistakes. He does some really good stuff, right? He broke up the interception in the next play, caught a 31-yard pass. And runs up the sideline. So yeah, you're getting very good play from your wide receivers right now. I'm ready to see if Giovanni puts us at a level of, oh, you got a number one that you can't even, it's really hard to cover. Or, you got two number ones or three number ones. That would be even better.
Yeah. For everything that we had to endure at the wide receiver position last year, that we're getting healthier going deeper into the season, it just feels nice. We're not having to go into each and every week like, all right, are we going to have anybody back? No, we still have the three guys that started week one still expected to start for you against Temple. And you're adding back the guy that everybody expects to be your wide receiver one here either this week or in a couple of weeks. So things are trending up for the Oklahoma Sooners. I don't know. Did we hear anything on Gentry Williams or Michael Fasusi out of this?
No, I haven't seen or heard anything on either one. I know Fasusi said post game that he's good and he'll be back. Yeah. He's going to play. I remember he said that, and then nothing on Gentry. Like I haven't seen anything come out. Now, granted, we don't have to put out a injury report because we're playing Temple. We're not playing in the SEC yet. We'll have our first real injury report next week, right before the Auburn game. So next Wednesday, we'll get that, and we'll definitely talk about it on Thursday and Friday as we prepare to wait and
Saturday
see what pops
morning.
up there. And possibly Saturday morning if something does populate on that list. So, but I anticipate that, knock on wood, we'll be healthy going forward.
Yeah, the good news about Gentry is it wasn't his shoulder that got him banged up. It's I believe it sounds like a hamstring or a quad injury. So that'll have to be something that is monitored. We got a lot of drama stirred up between Oklahoma and Temple. Long rivals, these storied rivalry that is Oklahoma versus Temple. Now, I'm just kidding, but we got some drama. We'll discuss that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners. It's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP. Who delivered? Powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For Oklahoma, we've been going with John Mateer because he delivered in a big way in that win against Michigan. He had 54 combined rush and pass attempts, 344 total yards, 3 total touchdowns, was absolutely huge for the Oklahoma Sooners. And it wasn't a fluke. If you've been watching him, you know that this guy is the real deal. John Mateer is on a streak. And just like John Mateer delivered for Oklahoma, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order, stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday, keep the streak alive, fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply, promo period through 11/18. Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jay, we got a little bit of hot mic drama. We got hot mic gate that has occurred between Oklahoma and Temple during Brent Venables' weekly press conference, or just before the weekly press conference. There were some Oklahoma media that were just discussing what the environment was going to be like up there in Philadelphia. They play at the Lincoln Financial Stadium, where the Philadelphia Eagles play, holds something like 80,000 in capacity. And so the discussion was like, okay, what's it going to look like when Oklahoma goes to play there? What do you think the capacity or the attendance is going to be? Are they going to have to tarp off the upper section? Blah, 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 blah. Well, that got picked up. People heard it. I'm not sure how people heard it. I had to turn my volume way up on the recording to be able to hear what was actually said. And so people were really like digging deep for something or anything. I don't know. But yeah, apparently this is ruffled feathers all the way from Temple fans to Temple players, I guess, to Philadelphia media, to also Casey Keeler, the Temple head coach. Was discussing it with Paul Posluszny, the former Penn State linebacker.
Yeah, he was actually on with Gabe and Teddy yesterday. I haven't got the chance to watch the episode yet, so I'll be doing that this morning when I go to the gym and get my workout in. But yeah, he was, when I heard his recording of how his team was kind of in a way disregarded by Oklahoma, I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, dang, he's actually mad. And truth be told, BV even praised him as a coach and talked about how well he's done in FCS ranks. He's got 2 national championships on 2 different teams, something that nobody else has done. So he can coach and he can make things happen. And so coming up to Temple, for him, the big thing is getting this Temple team turned around, which last couple of games, they look like a football team. Granted, they played UMass and Howard, one, I think is in the MAC. Yeah, UMass is in the MAC, and Howard is what? I think they're a G6. I think they're also a G6 right now, or FCS. They're FCS right now. Yeah. So excuse me on that. But I mean, they cooked 97 yards first 2 games, John. So they've been playing solid football. Evan Simon, the quarterback who took over last season, he's out there slinging it. So they look like a well-coached team right now. we should still beat them though, right? Like this game should not be, the spread right now is dropped. It's around 21, it opened at 25. So the expectation is it may be some weather up there. I'm thinking, I don't know. It could end up being just a go in, win the game and leave. But yeah, their coach was pretty ticked, and he was really talking about how the media was really disregarding them as a team.
Yeah, and to his credit, he did acknowledge that Brent Venables spoke highly of this Temple program going into the game and was complimentary and respectful towards the program. And I think that's the message Brent Venables is trying to get across to his team too, is like, respect your opponent, understand that they're coming to try to beat you and you want to have your best game. Yeah, I get where the coach is coming from. You know, even against Illinois State in week 1, we had the great James Jackson of Sooners Illustrated finally ask an Illinois State question. And it was like, 30 minutes into the press conference. And BB's like, hey, what, that must be a record or something. We made it 30 something minutes into the press conference. And we finally got a question about the opponent. I get where Keeler's coming from, man. It's like, you're going to not ask at all about this team that we're about to play.
I mean,
I get where he's coming from. At the same time, like, what do you expect the media to do?
It's kind of hard when you're coming off that Michigan game like that. And this is kind of the, as Nick Saban would say, the rat poison that teams have to keep and look out for, because truth be told, this team went out and they played a heck of a game, and now they're the talk of the nation. And BV said, we're going to stay focused. We're going to do what we need to do. The players even said, saw an interview with David Stone after practice, and he said, we're road dogs in their mind. They're going out and playing in a hostile environment, and their goal is to go out there and win and get back home. And so, hey, they're playing it right. They're focused on this opponent. They're not looking ahead to Auburn like some people believe they are.
Right.
They're talking about all the right things right now. Mm-hmm. Their focal point is Temple. That's who they want to play, and that's who they want to beat. But I mean, it doesn't mean the media is going to actually go in there and think that same thing. Like I said, the spread is what it is. You're a 3 touchdown favorite. You should go out there, and the expectation is, regardless of how ugly of a game it is, you better win.
Yeah. Yeah, and I fully expect that they go and they win this game. Like, we'll have keys to the game. We'll have our predictions for the game for our Friday episode, but I don't really have much questions. Similar to the Illinois State game, and really like what we saw against Michigan week 2, even though it got tight, like it was a 7-0 ball game for most of the first half, and then it was 14-0. When it got to 14-0, I really felt like that was ball game.
Yeah.
Like 7-0, it felt like Oklahoma was dominating the game, even though it was 7-0. And when it got to 14-0, I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to catch up. Now they got the first, half, or the first play touchdown to start the second half. Like, oh, okay, maybe it's not quite over just yet. But then Oklahoma went and they got another score, and you're like, okay, it's for real over again. So I feel very confident in the product that Oklahoma is going to put out on the field against Temple. But is it going to be one of those where they get started slowly because they have to play an 11 a.m. game? This is going to be their first morning game, as opposed to playing a 5 o'clock and a 6:30, 7 o'clock kickoff time.
That is true.
How can that impact them after traveling up to the Northeast? Is that going to have an impact on the way that they start the game? We've seen this team start sluggish in road environments before. Can they overcome some of that and actually get off to a hot start? That's going to be the biggest key in this one.
I was going to say, that is probably the biggest key here. Is a lot of people have pointed out the Brent Venables struggle for the most part on the road, even though we did go to Auburn and win with a true freshman quarterback.
Or just you have a big win and then you have a little bit of a letdown. Even if you
you have a letdown,
you don't perform well.
Yeah, 23 was a very great example of that. You have your big game against Texas, and you have a very lackluster performance against UCF, and then it just continues to tickers down as you get injuries and you lose 2 straight games. So, yes, we understand, and that is, I get where fans would get in that mindset of, don't drop a dud in this game. That's the most important thing. Yeah. The good thing is, though, and I've said this before, the schedule is very much favorable for us. Yes, we have this road game to Temple. It's going to be tough. But we come right back home and we play Auburn at the crib. To me, that's a lot more favorable for a team because the losses we had in 23 were both on the road. They were back-to-back road games. We don't have that this year in theory because you have back-to-back road games in Tennessee, Alabama, but there's a massive bye week in between. So you have a reset point. This is pretty favorable. You play Auburn, you get a reset week. Kent State, then Texas. It's just that 5-game stretch where it's home, away is where I think the biggest challenge is. But I think we'll be fine in that capacity.
Yeah, and I expect them to get off to a good start. I expect John Mateer to lead this team well. I expect the guys on the defensive side of the ball, the Dominic Williams, Jaden Jackson, Robert Spears-Jennings, Kip Lewis, Kobe, all those guys to make sure that Oklahoma puts their best foot forward each and every week, regardless of who the opponent is. And if you want to be a contender, and I even said this when I was talking with Dave Melandra of Philly Sports Talk, breaking down Temple and what they are and what we should expect to see out of this team this weekend. You can find that episode in your podcast channels and on YouTube. It was just talking about if you want to be a contender, you have to take every team seriously, and you have to go put together 60-minute performances every single week, regardless of the team that you're playing against. Because like Brent Venables always likes to tell us, it's about us. It's not about somebody else. It's about how we prepare and how we perform. And so I think Oklahoma is going to show up. I think they're going to rewrite some of the narratives about this team after big games, and they're going to go put together a heck of a performance. It doesn't help Temple's chances by stirring the hornet's nest. And we'll discuss that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. From footwork to breath work, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings that same intention to how we craft every model. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to the available Napa leather upholstery. Ooh. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. So like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for the kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Like right now, Oklahoma is sitting at a 21.5-point favorite with an over-under that got my attention a little bit here, sitting at 51.5. Does Oklahoma score a lot more points? Can they cover the spread and get that? Hey, it's something to check out, and it's a possibility. Also, you get your NFL bets for Thursday night football. Something to take a gander at with those Packers going up against, you want to check that out. See if Jordan Love makes the magic happen. So if you are ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
Coming up on Friday's show, we'll get into your Friday fan feels to get ready for Oklahoma at Temple. We'll also break down keys to the game, provide our predictions as well. You'll want to be here on the channel for our live post-game show. We bring you live coverage and live reactions every single week after an Oklahoma game. So subscribe to the show to be a part of the chat and to know when new episodes drop. So Jay, we got Temple throwing shade just after Mike Gate happened. And they dropped this little graphic on their social media page, Jay, and it says, fight, fight, fight for the cherry and the white. I'm guessing those are their colors.
Yeah, get it.
Little bit of a tornado-like atmosphere in the background, which stay classy, Temple. And then also dropping the Baker Mayfield mugshot photo. In the lower left corner, just above,
by the back wheel,
below the Temple truck. Again, stay classy, Temple.
Yeah, I thought that was a little much. Like the tornado thing. I mean, come on. I mean, Oklahoma's known for tornadoes. Okay, whatever. That's kind of okay, whatever. I'm not even gonna trip too much. But the fact you put Baker Mayfield's mugshot next to the truck, y'all want the smoke. Y'all really, really want want the smoke. And I don't understand why you all want to do that to yourselves. Like what were you trying to achieve with that, John? Like, I don't understand the value of putting that there. Like what are we going for? Like what was that? What was you trying to achieve by putting that? Like, you want to rile up the fans? Like, I know it's a young social media person thinking, oh, it'd be fun if we put their, one of their best players ever, one of the greatest players in college football history, we put him on there and put his mugshot. Then, of course, you got people dropping, famous Temple people's mugshots in the thread. And now we just get ugly. Why would you do that? Like, why?
And all over an innocent conversation about what the attendance is expected to be like up there at the link. And then you're going to bring mugshots and bring this kind of stuff into it, bring tornado weather into it. It boggles my mind that this would be as big of a deal as it's become. And I think about also at the same time, I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan for a long time. So I have a lot of interaction with Philadelphia Eagles fans in my memory. So it's not actually all that surprising that they would take like the smallest thing and take it as some like attack on the city of Philadelphia. And now everybody's going to rally around this Temple team that they probably didn't even care about, that have maybe never watched a football game. Like, oh, they're from Philly, so we're going to support them. No, you don't care about Temple football. You don't. This is a team that's not been good for a long time. Maybe they're good now. Who knows? You're not going to know that after playing UMass and Howard. I mean, if you're playing UMass in basketball and you beat them like you beat them, maybe I'd take notice, because UMass once upon a time was a pretty good basketball program. True. But you're not going to make me jump off sides and get all excited about you beating UMass and Howard. And if you needed bulletin board material from some beat reporters at a press conference to get you excited about playing a blue blood and having them in your house, a top 15 team in the nation in your house, if you needed more than that to get excited about playing a football game, then you're not ready to play this football game to begin with. So don't bring the smoke to Oklahoma and expect that you're going to get anything more than this, because you are not ready for this game. I'm sorry.
Tell him, John. You got John worked up. He turning red. I can see it. But it does not make. You're right. Why? Why are we at this point where you feel the need to throw this type of shade? Like, do you really want these dudes to be pissed off and come at you like that? Like, the goal was to go up there, win the game, and leave. Now you may get some of these players got the enough emotion where they want to go out there and destroy you. They may want to double this spread. And I would like for them just to go in there, win the game, and leave. But they're probably going to try to double the spread now.
Don't let these guys make it personal on the Oklahoma side of things.
They've already done it.
You saw what Deion Burks just did to Michigan when it was personal.
Yeah. That was a personal. That 7 catches for 101 yards was personal. It was 100% him saying, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and they didn't even recruit me. So this is a personal game for me. I'm going to go ahead and teach them a little something.
There are few players more beloved than Baker Mayfield at the University of Oklahoma.
Don't do that.
That is a dude that could walk into any bar in Norman and get all his drinks, all his meals paid for without a question. People would be lining up to buy Baker Mayfield's dinner.
Yep.
Do not come after Baker Regan Mayfield.
Yeah. You won't go after Bacon either.
You're not going to like what happens. And it's not just the kids from Oklahoma that grew up watching this team. It's not just the Oklahoma fans. It's not just, the players, the coaches that were part of the Baker Mayfield era. No, Baker Mayfield loves this program. This program loves him back. It's all of the players on that team. It's all of the coaches on that team. It's the administrators in the offices. It's the professors and students on campus. Everybody loves Baker Mayfield. And you're going to bring up one of the more challenging moments in his life, and probably something that he's embarrassed by. And you're going to try and use that as part of this hate week it's become.
Yeah, it's definitely hate week.
I actually prefer Casey Keeler's approach to this thing, having unrealistic expectations. I love that. I love that. Dream big. Believe in yourselves. Believe that you can go win a football game. You don't have to do all the other stuff to put yourself in a position to go get energized and juiced up to go play Oklahoma. No, if you need all that, you're not ready. You're not going to win.
You're not. You're really not. You're not ready if you really need all that extra mess to do that. And that's just, no. Come on, guys. Let's just play some football. But I think you guys are going to make this personal. It's going to be like, I'm just waiting to see what they say to their media. I need to see if I see any media members say some stuff. We'll see if any of their players have to give any sound bites for Oklahoma as they fly up there to play a game in the Eagles stadium.
It's going to be a fun one. I think Oklahoma's going to have a really productive weekend in Philly. Philly cheesesteaks will be eaten. And as we learned from our guy, Dave Melandra of Philly Sports Talk, if you're going to be up in the Philadelphia area for this game, the Phillies are playing the Royals that night too. So I know a lot of y'all are also Kansas City Royals fans. You get a chance to go see Kyle Schwarber, who just hit his 50th home run. A lot of fun things to do up in Philly. Go check out the Rocky statue at the Museum of Modern Art. Go run the steps. Good times. That's about all that there is good to do in Philadelphia anyway. So just hit up some sports and go see Rocky. But that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John9Williams and read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer
Sooner. You really don't want the smoke, though. Like, for real, you really don't want the smoke.
Yeah, don't make me channel my wrestling attitude anymore.